before we start, I would also like understand more about the crowd. So who are the first year students? You are all students, right? Or high school also? Who are high school here? Wow, a lot. Is anyone here a student first year, second year? No, okay. High
Most of
school.
them are seniors in high school.
Oh, okay. That's good. So it means that you guys gonna be one of the earliest adapter for blockchain in Palau. And what does it mean? It means that you guys are gonna be one of the pioneers in Web3 in the community. It means that also you guys gonna have more opportunities to be in advance compared to many other people in Palau and grasp all the opportunities to start to do amazing things and create an amazing impact to this country. So before I start, I would like to introduce a bit about myself, how I started enjoy this Web3 journey, because like yesterday, I also have the question from many students here in Palau. They asked me like, oh, when did I join Web3? And how did it happen? And how it changed my life? So I think that this is like one of the reasons why we are here. Firstly, to inspire all the young people why we should join Web3. And second, after that, we'll go through, the workshop about the basic definition, some terms in blockchain in Web3, and also the last part that we also guide you to open the first crypto wallet. Maybe that's the first gate to bring you to Web3. Is that okay? So about myself, my name is Quinn, and I started to join crypto since 2016. And it's just like by very accident conversation between me and one of the PhD in the US during that time. So he came back to Vietnam and he see that Vietnam crypto community growing super fast. And it always like one of the top 3 market over the world. And he also very surprised. So he came back to the country and he see like how he can bring even more great projects into the country and apply blockchain. And at that time, I listened to his conversation, all the sharing, and I talked to myself, oh my God, I miss a lot about Web3, about blockchain. I didn't understand it. Even that during the time I was in London, I heard about Bitcoin during 2010, but I ignored it because at that time I was kind of skeptical, okay, this is new. I don't know how it's gonna be. Maybe it not be successful, maybe it's drop later, so I don't really care. Until 2016, I see that so many people over the world start to apply blockchain already. So many people become the first adapter over the world, and so many things happening, which I miss. And at that time, I started to go back and did a lot of research, how it can apply and change the world. And since then, I see that, really many companies, many communities started to apply blockchain in many different industries, even education, in healthcare, in finance, in gaming, extra and extra. Do you believe that nowadays, even in 2018, I joined one metaverse company. So we even can create our own avatar there and then have ourselves different version, and we can put Queen walking into the company and set up all our own company office in the metaverse, and can invite many other guests also, can create their avatar and do our own meeting or our own workshop in the metaverse. And we even can create another world in that metaverse. And we can apply, even crypto to exchange, to transfer money to every single one. And we don't really need to have the bank in the middle, and we cut all the fees, that kind of thing. It's just very simple, very little thing, but changing our life gradually. So I know that Palau is very beautiful country. And also you really care about sustainability. Maybe blockchain is a bit new for all of you guys. But also just share one model about Vietnam, how it started to grow the community in Web3, and maybe we can apply some of the model from Vietnam to Palau here. So before that, maybe we can go through what have we done and grow the community in the last year. Because like youth guy will become the community for Palau and become the representative for Palauan and using blockchain in the early days. So it is very important because yesterday, Mr. President also shared that, Palau also very open to become one of the blockchain country over the world and invite many other crypto nomad people to come here and make Palau become the physical hub for blockchain. But it cannot happen without all of you guys, all of the community, all of the ecosystem, and also not only make Palau become the physical hub, but also need many builders from Palau, also many projects from Palau, many business apply blockchain in Palau, and to make the world see that, okay, Palau and also connecting and become the gateway to blockchain for everyone. So let's go through the slide about Vietnam first. So actually Vietnam also, we have 100 million crypto user now, 100 million population. And right now we have 16 million crypto user. And for the last 3 years, Vietnam always on the top 3 country over the world in terms of growing rates for the crypto user. Why is that? Why? The question is why. Number one, because of the policy from the government for sure. The government also very open and very support for blockchain technology. Second, because we have very big population, we also have young people at the same age like 20 to 35, which account for about 30 million. And then many of them, like you guys, very young, technology savvy, hunger for success, excited to learn the new thing. And that's how they can adapt very quickly for crypto. And many of them also opened the first wallets for last year, and they keep doing skin in the game, trading a lot during the last year. The third reason, because we also focus on education. Education is the key because to bring everyone like you guys to start understand what is Web3, what is an innovation between Web3 and Web2, and also what is blockchain, what kind of smart contract, how we can use it, and then we also start to make the student become the builder who actually the one that create your own business or own project. So one thing very different with Web2 is the builder or the founders of the project in Web3 here, very young, and there is no limitation. I met so many amazing founders all over the world, wherever I go. So many of them amazing, like just born in 1997, 2000, 1993. And they learn by themselves. And they become the founder of the project. And many of them become the billion project over the world already. How? Because they believe in this technology. They believe that blockchain is going to change the world. And they believe that with this, there is no limitation. And as long as they have the goodwill, they can create the impact immediately. So I hope that one day, many of you Palauan student here, high school student here, also can become one of the founder of the great project and make Palau blockchain mapping over the world. And also about Vietnam, I just mentioned that we really focus on education. So what kind of education that we do for young people? So of course, it's really take time to grow the knowledge for the student, for the builder. So we also do a lot of workshop, a lot of meetup, a lot of sharing, and also many different hackathons. Just to let all the students understand and also engage them genuinely. And also here, we also have the Palau Blockchain Society. We're helping you guys after this session. Hope that we also have more workshops to engage. So, about Vietnam, we also see that, besides that we have a lot of young people, and even that we have low middle class income, but in terms of the GDP for the last years, we always the top 2 second grow very fast in the region. And for the builders in Vietnam, we also have right now 400,000 blockchain builders in Vietnam. And every year we have about 50,000 freshly IT graduate students. And that's why we really focus on this. And as you can see here, also Vietnam always become the top traffic ranking for the top project. For example, maybe many of them haven't heard about this project, but if you do Google later, you can see that they are also like one of the top blockchain, exchange platform over the world. For example, Binance, OKX, Suci, all of them here. And then Vietnam always become the top traffic country ranking over the world. And this is the ecosystem that we're trying to build for the last years in Vietnam. The slide might be difficult for you to see, but it covers everything like education, startup, finance, gaming, exchange, blockchain, everything. And you see that on the education, we also have several company only. Our company also one of them. We really just focus for this student workshop and also builders. And for last years, each year we have done about 200 workshops, and we have done many hackathons also, and we bringing thousands of new builders in this ecosystem every year. So that is just a bit about how to engage and bring the first step, and we really focus on the education. And then after this part, one of my teammates from Vietnam will help you guys to go through the very basic definition about Web3, about blockchain, how to apply it. And then if you have any question, you can ask for the Q&A session later. And then also we can chat directly. And also for the last part that we will go through opening the wallets. And in this part, please prepare also the notebook and also the laptop you have, and you can do the exercise immediately with the phone. Is that okay? Yeah. So any of you here heard about blockchain? Do you have any, do you understand what is blockchain? Can anyone share any idea? What do you think about this? Have you heard about Web3? Okay, it seems very new. No worry, we'll go through all of that today. So we will have Sue, my teammate. She also have done hundreds of workshops for students, and then she also can guide you basically the knowledge for this part.
Hello, Sue.
Hey there, hi all. Can I share my screen?
Sue, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Quinn. Can you hear me?
Hello? Please wait for a while.
Ủa, bạn sinh viên.
Yeah, speaker.
Speaker thì sao lắm?
Sue, can you hear? Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, cool. So I give back the session. Please go through the basic definitions for the high school student. They're totally fresh, yeah? So go slow, please.
Okay,
then,
perfect.
And make sure that we also have time for questions, so to guide them. Thank you.
Okay, should I share my screen?
Yes, please. I give back the stage. Thank you.
Perfect. All right. Let's get started. Okay, sharing my screen right now. Yeah. Yeah.
Be fine.
Okay, can you guys see the screen?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, amazing. Okay, right. I hope you guys have some motivation to get started for a lesson today from Quinn. You guys got a lot of general knowledge from the basic of Vietnam and what's happening right now in the Web3 ecosystem, and what you can do, and all the potentials from the Web3 that can give you. So before you get started in using Web3, then we need to understand what is Web3, why should we use it, what is the difference between Web3 and what the web version we are using now, and then from there we'll go into blockchain technology. That's cool. Okay, so right now we're having Web 2, so we'll have a comparison between Web 2 and Web 3, but then we're also gonna go really broadly about the history of the web. So right here, if you can see it, we have what the web is, Web 1, what is Web 1, what is Web 2, and what is Web 3. Okay, so what is the web? The web is just an information transferring process using wires, using the internet. And then for Web 1, the only thing that you can do is to read the information that is shared online by professionals. There were really few people that were using the internet a while ago, and you can only use it to surf the internet and to read the information. Then the next thing is Web 2. This is where you can write and create and post any content, anything that you want to write up online. This is where you can create and interact with the internet, because you can post, you can message each other, you can take a picture and then put it up there, take a video, put it up there, but then you're not owning your content, right? If you use Facebook, or if you use other social medias, or if it's just YouTube, then they own your content. Everything is posted on their server, but you own nothing. Basically, I said you can share and post everything, but then there's always limitations to a lot of things. Then you cannot, for example, there are some sensitive content that will always be hindered and be deleted by the controller of the platforms, right? And then as we're transferring to Web 3, then the thing is that the value is transferred also from the centralized companies to us, the content creator. And so here you cannot you not only can read, write, but then you can own your content, own everything that you created online. The Web3 is decentralized and it is transparent. You can see a lot of transactions, everything, all of your activities online. Most of it are transactions, which are things that we're going to go through later on what transaction is, but everything is recorded online. But still there are a lot of private edge to this. And then it is decentralized, which means that it is not owned by any centralized entities. It is not owned by any authorities that has a group that controls and then delete and manage everything, right? Okay, so if you guys have any question, then don't hesitate to just raise your hand and ask. This is a really good thing to do, to check back with your knowledge every time you learn and get something new. So any question for this section right here?
Do you have any question?
Any question?
No.
Okay, all right, let's go ahead with the next one. So after that, we have the blockchain, and the blockchain is an essential part of Web3. So we're gonna go through what block is, what chain is, which create the definition of a blockchain, and then we're gonna go into what transaction is. These are pretty much your activity on the blockchain. what is the public and private key, why you need a key to, are you opening any doors on a blockchain, or what are these keys using for? And then we're going to go through one thing that is called consensus mechanism, which sounds really technical, but it's not really. So we're going to jump into a video that is really fun to watch, and it's going to cover all of these definitions right here. All right. Can you guys hear the video?
Yes.
Okay, okay, good. All right, let's go from here. Should be a bit fast. Oh, okay, it is normal. All right, let's go.
Need the voice of the video.
Oh, okay.
Louder, please. So let me do open here.
You what did you say, Quinn? You pull up over there?
Yeah, let me play the video here.
Okay, yes, please. Yeah, because we cannot play both output at the same time. We're on a video call.
Play but no voice.
Oh, okay. Use our slide. You have to stop sharing. Which one?
Yeah.
There's no video here. Is this a video?
Yeah, they have the video. So can you send the link video?
This is not video. This is not video.
You can talk to her.
Sue, would you please send a link? Because on the slide that is not video.
Yeah, I'm getting the link right now.
I can see.
If there's an easier way to complete transactions without having to deal with online wallets, banks, and third-party applications, well, it's possible thanks to blockchain. Here's everything you need to know about the blockchain. Imagine 4 friends. Ever wonder if there's an easier way to complete transactions without having to deal with online wallets, banks, and third-party applications? Well, it's possible thanks to blockchain. Here's everything you need to know about blockchain. Imagine 4 friends, Jack, Ted, Sam, and Phil meet up for dinner. After they're done, Jack pays the bill, and all of them decide to split the expense amongst each other. Now, on the next day, when Phil sends his share to Jack via online money transfer, the transaction goes through without a hitch. Then Ted and Sam send their respective shares to Jack, but their transactions don't go through. The failed transaction cites some issues at the bank. That's when Jack comes to know about the many ways a bank transaction could fail. It could be due to technical issues at the bank. One of their accounts were hacked, daily transfer limits being exceeded, and sometimes additional charges, like transfer charges, associated with transferring money. To solve these problems, the concept of cryptocurrency came into existence. Cryptocurrencies are a form of digital or virtual currency that run on a technology known as blockchain. Thanks to blockchain, cryptocurrencies are immune to counterfeiting, don't require a central authority, and are protected by strong and complex encryption algorithms.
Okay.
And in a market of more than thousands of cryptocurrencies like Litecoin, Ethereum, Zcash, and so on, one reigns supreme: Bitcoin. Now, let's go back to our previous example and have Bill, Ted, and Sam send Jack 2 Bitcoins each as their contribution to the previous night's dinner. Let's assume Bill, Ted, and Sam have 3 Bitcoins in reserve, while Jack has 5. First, Bill sends 2 Bitcoins to Jack. A record is created in the form of a block. The transaction details between them is permanently inscribed in this block. This record also holds the number of Bitcoins each of the friends own. So after Bill's transaction, Jack has 7 Bitcoins, while Bill has 1. Following this, Sam and Ted send 2 Bitcoins to Jack. A new block is created for each of these transactions. These blocks hold the transaction details as well as how many Bitcoins Sam, Ted, and Jack have in reserve. These blocks are linked to each other, as each of them takes reference from the previous one for the number of Bitcoins each friend owns. This chain of records, or blocks, is called a ledger, and this ledger is shared among all the friends, which acts as a public distributed ledger. This forms the basis of blockchain. So, what happens when Bill has only 1 Bitcoin left, and he tries to send 2 more Bitcoins to Jack? The transaction will not go through. This is because all his friends have copies of the ledger, and it's clear that Bill has only 1 Bitcoin left. His friends will flag this transaction as invalid. A hacker will not be able to alter the data in the blockchain because each user has a copy of the ledger. The data within the blocks are encrypted by complex algorithms. All of this is made possible with the help of blockchain technology. Blockchain can be described as a collection of records linked with each other, strongly resistant to alteration, and protected using cryptography. Now, let's have a closer look at the Bitcoin transaction between Jack and Bill and find out how it works. Every user in the Bitcoin network has 2 keys, a public key and a private key. The public key is an address that everyone in the network knows of, like an email address of a user. The private key is a unique address that only the user has knowledge of, something like a password. First, Bill passes the number of Bitcoins he wants to send to Jack, along with his and Jack's unique wallet address through a hashing algorithm. All of this is part of the transaction details. These details are encrypted using encryption algorithms and using Bill's unique private key. This is done to digitally sign the transaction and to indicate that the transactions came from Bill. This output is now transmitted across the world using Jack's public key. With this, the message or transaction can be decrypted only by Jack's private key, which only Jack has knowledge of. Different cryptocurrencies use different hashing algorithms. While Bitcoin uses the SHA-256 algorithm, Ethereum, which is also a famous cryptocurrency, uses one known as Ethash. This transaction and several other similar ones are taking place all around the world. These transactions are validated and then added block by block. The people who validate these blocks are called miners. For a block to be validated and added to a blockchain, miners need to solve a complex mathematical problem. The miner who solves this first adds the block to the blockchain and is rewarded with 12.5 Bitcoins.
Stop.
The process of solving the complex mathematical problem is called proof of work.
Okay,
And
stop there.
So you can share your screen. You can share your screen. The stage is yours.
Okay, so right here we have the definitions of blocks, chains, public key, private key, transaction, and consensus mechanism. This definition is a bit different from the video. For the video, it is a lot more easier to understand. So if anyone want to stand up and ask anything, or if you want to just summarize the definition of these concepts that you heard from the video. Please stand up and do so.
Anyone can summarize like what blockchain is after you watch the video?
Don't summarize it.
Or maybe
What do you
it's,
think of?
yeah, what do you think about what is what is blockchain? Maybe there's any idea, anything you can get from it. Anything? Yeah, anything.
Say something
Don't be shy, anything. What is the keyword that you can get from that video?
It's okay to make
Yeah, it's
mistakes.
okay, yeah. We all need to learn from the beginning. Me also, like, let's go through all of this. And every single day I need to learn because this is new to the whole world, not only to us. So what is block? What is blockchain? Okay, maybe so we can go briefly again. Just the keyword.
Okay.
Okay, we have one student here. Okay, question please. Okay,
The ledger is basically the chain or the block, what is the video saying that's in English to program.
so the question is the ledger is the change or the block or both, right? Yeah. Good. Ledger is like one of the key terms in this you need to understand. Sue, do you have?
Yes. That is almost correct. So the ledger is the record of all of, yeah, if you said it is the record that of all the changes on the blockchain, then you are correct. The ledger records all the changes, all the transaction on the blockchain, and those transactions is always there in that record, and that is what we call a ledger. Right, and for the blockchain, the ledger is going to be a copy on all of the computer that are using the network. So let's say we're using Bitcoin, then all of the transaction history, this is pretty much like your bank transaction history. Everything will be on that ledger. There'll be one ledger, and all of the computers that are using the network will have a copy of that ledger. So everyone has something to compare if anything is not similar to the system or the network. If someone has a wrong copy, or if someone want to change that copy, then everyone on the network or the network itself can verify that it is not the right transaction, or it is not approved for that transaction. Right, so that is a ledger, and I was just extending and making sure that everyone understands what a ledger is and how a blockchain uses that ledger to manage all the transactions and the activity. Okay, so right here, we have blocks, right? So blocks right here, the block is the thing that contains the copy of that ledger. Right? Every transaction, data containers that store multiple transactions. So every time a transaction is verified and approved, it will be added to a block. There will be people that are doing the work to verify the transaction and verify the block, which was right at the end of the section of the video that we just watched. So those will be rewarded with Bitcoin. This is for right here, you see consensus mechanism. This is for proof of work network, which is Bitcoin. So for proof of work, you need to prove that you have done the work, which is verifying the transaction, so that you'll be rewarded with the currency, the cryptocurrency, which is Bitcoin. For Ethereum, they just changed from proof of work to proof of stake. Proof of stake is a bit different. Proof of stake is going to be based on the amount of cryptocurrency that you stake or you deposit into the network itself. So for these are going to be some more advanced concept that you can read more on the Ethereum library. That's just a really good practice to do. Just go up on ethereum.org and go to their document. Everything, every keyword will be on there. That is the most credible source that you can read and learn about Ethereum. Also start building or learning anything about Ethereum, also its scalability, its scalable solution, right? Those are some more advanced concepts. Okay, and then for the blocks, when it is all verified, then it will be connected to the chains that is already existed. Right, so right here we have blocks linked together in chronological order to form a blockchain. So after it's verified, it's added to the chain. That is why we have a blockchain, right? And then for a blockchain, we have how a blockchain works, right? The concept that is follow or its mechanism right here, the consensus mechanism, which is proof of work or proof of stake. We also have a lot more proof of history or proof of authority. There's a lot more for other networks. So we'll go into what are some of the other chains, but then to read more into those, they have a really different mechanism than Bitcoin and Ethereum. We should, not that we should, but then most of the apps are built on Ethereum right now, which is what differentiated from Bitcoin. Right. Okay. I'll go in deeper into that. What is different between Ethereum and Bitcoin? But then for public and private key, if you listen or follow up with the video right there, you see that a public key is what we have. It is shared publicly, right? And this one is your wallet address. This is the public key. But then if you want to do anything or to with your wallet or do any activity online on Web3, then you need a wallet, you need an address. And then for every transaction or your activity online, everything is going to be a transaction. Then you need your private key to sign the transaction and to approve those activity. So right here, we have a secret number that allows Ethereum users to prove ownership of an account or contract by producing a digital signature. This is similar to any documents or any approval that need your signature to be approved, right? Pretty much like a private key. Okay. Any question for this section?
No.
Okay. All right. Okay, and then just a note for transactions. Transactions in our real world is just value transaction, which is money transaction. But then for Web3 or for technical transactions, then it is also a transaction of data and of message. So a message contains data. So pretty much for this data, we can have value, which is cryptocurrency, which is also a form of data, or we can have code that is a form of message. So this transaction can be code or can be value. For code, then it can be any command that asks a smart contract or a D app or a software, pretty much like a software on the network to do something, right, for a piece of code. All right. Right here, we'll have some more for a distributed ledger, right? It is a record of transaction shared across a network of computers. And these ledgers are decentralized, updated through consensus, a consensus mechanism, and ensure transparency. For transparency, we can go up online for Ethereum Explorer. Up there, you see all of the transactions from all of any address, but then you really don't know who owns which address. So that is the private part about it. But then for any transactions, if you know who owns that address, then you can trace out what is happening, or you will know that, okay, so this is the proof that someone sent you the value or the money, or you can also see that transactions for code that got executed or code or value that got sent through the network, through the smart contract. So we'll go deeper into smart contract and wallet and why they're different. and then how they works, but and how they send value. Okay, right here for blockchain technology, then some of the core characteristic is decentralization and immutability. So decentralization is a model where control and decision making are distributed across a network rather than centralized in a single authority. Right. This is what, like I mentioned before, that you have the ownership on your content and not other platforms like Facebook or Instagram, or Lines or WeChat or anything. And then for decentralization, it provides increased security, resilience, and censorship resistance. Right. So for any content that got deleted and got censored with blockchain technology, these are all decentralizations. Then these are all decentralized, then no one is censored your content or delete or managing your content or blocking you because of anything. And right here we have immutability, which is data stored on a blockchain that cannot be altered or deleted. So data on the blockchain can only be added and not deleted. Right, this is achieved through cryptographic hashing and consensus mechanism. All right. Any question for ledger decentralization, immutability? No?
No.
Okay.
But maybe like this summarize the key character, like blockchain, security, privacy, transparent, that kind of thing.
Yes. So we have so right here, these are the keywords that you should know about blockchain. And then for the characteristic, then we have three things. You only need to remember three things, which is decentralization, security, and one more thing is scalability. But then for that one, we'll put it into later lessons. That is, we'll relate it to a lot more scalability solution. But for the characteristic, then we have immutability and transparency. Right, transparency, yes. Okay. For security in the blockchain, this is assured by decentralization, cryptography, and immutability. Right, so no single point of failure, data is distributed across the network. So think about, you can think about a server, let's say Google or Apple or any traditional technology company, then they will have a full data center, right? So the data center will have a lot of machines, a lot of servers to store data, and it is all centralized into one place, right? So it is really prone to hacks because there's only one place to hack into. But then for blockchain, then any computer in the network owns a copy of the blockchain. So if you want to change one thing, or if you want to hack the network, then that means you need to hack all of the computer in that networks, right? And that will be really difficult because everyone, and it is spread it out on the entire world, anyone that is using the network. So it is really more difficult to hack a network with a lot of users like Bitcoin and Ethereum. Right? With the number of users increasing every day, then it is getting harder and harder to hack. There are some attacks like the 51% attack on Bitcoin, which means that if you get the control of 51% of the computers on the Bitcoin network, then you'll be able to control the network. Right? It is really just based on the number or the percentage of the network that you are controlling. Then you can hack the network. All right. And then for cryptography, security, and blockchain, and you have cryptography, it's secure data transmission and privacy protection. Everything is encrypted for Bitcoin, it is going to be the SHA-256 cryptography. And then for Ethereum, then it is Ethash, right? So for different blockchain, you have different ways to encrypt the data. And the last thing is immutability, which is once data is added, it cannot be altered. Right? This enhances the integrity of the blockchain. Data can only be added and cannot be deleted or removed from the blockchain.
So we have
Okay,
one
so-
question here.
All right, okay, please ask.
I'm a teacher at the Palau High School. I'm a member of the COFA Trust Fund, and one of the things that we discussed in the meeting is potential investment into the blockchain or into the cryptocurrency. I understand the decentralization is one of the issues of our consultants because it is decentralized rather than being centralized. What are some of the surety that funds are secure? Because if it's not recognized by the SEC or other agencies out there, what surety assures that you will not lose values of the cryptocurrencies?
Okay, so as I heard, I can only heard some of the a piece of the question. Is it how can we assure the value of the cryptocurrency? Is that correct?
Yes. Maybe.
Okay,
Yes,
okay.
that's the first.
Okay. So how can we assure the value of the cryptocurrency? So if I understand this question correctly, then for this will be related to token economics, so tokenomics. So that this would be impacted by the usage of that network. So for each network, they will have their own currency. Right. Let's say for Bitcoin, then Bitcoin is a value container. Right? It can only contains value. It is different from Ethereum. So for Ethereum, it is one more step higher, just another step from Bitcoin that it allows people to develop applications on Ethereum. And then the currency of Ethereum is called Ether, ETH for short. Then it is used, Ether is used for paying transaction fee. So there is a use case for that, right? And then the use case for Ether is also it is staked into the network. So with the amount of Ether that is staked, you will get the chance to vote on any proposal or any change on the network. So it is a ticket for you to involve into the governance of Ethereum. So a lot of use cases will impact the price or the value of the cryptocurrency. But then there are a lot more other types of currencies such as stablecoin. So you have USDT, USD token, or USDC, USD coin. They are backed by the dollar, right? So for each coin, it is backed, or $1 is reserved for that coin, right? So that is how they have different mechanism, right, to ensure the value of the cryptocurrency. Right, so is this make things clearer, or anything you want to extend on this question?
Is that clear your answer, sir? Yes, thank you. Okay, so we can move on.
Okay, all right, let's move on to these right here are some blockchain networks. So we mentioned Ethereum. It is a platform for decentralized application and smart contracts. Smart contracts is a really important piece of Ethereum that we'll get into later. And then we have Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the first cryptocurrency known for secure transactions. Right, Bitcoin is the first cryptocurrency, and also Bitcoin is the name of the network itself, right? So Bitcoin is the name of the network, and Bitcoin is also the name of its cryptocurrency. But for Ethereum, then it is Ethereum and Ether, just not to make people confused because of Bitcoin was like that. Right? And then we have Binance Smart Chain. This is a blockchain for fast and low cost transactions. I'll have other examples of other blockchains later on, and they all have different use cases and for different purposes. Okay, we'll close this part up. Web3 is a paradigm shift. Right? It signifies a fundamental shift towards decentralization, user-centric internet application, right? Because it is tailored for all the internet users and not any centralized entities. Right? And users gain more control over the data and interactions and reducing reliance on intermediaries like social medias, like any platforms online. Also for online transactions, then we're basically cutting out banks, right? We are directly sending money on the internet and not through the banking system. There are some advantages and disadvantages about that, but we're not going into that for this lesson. Okay, some core principles of Web3. We have transparency and trust in the decentralized system. By transparency and trust, we remove intermediaries. And then we also have tokenizations and digital assets. Right here, trust in the decentralized system means that confidence in the accuracy and reliability of transactions without relying on a central authority. The impact is trust is established through cryptographic verification and consensus mechanism. For transparency, it is openness and accessibility of information to all participants in a network. Right? And then decentralized ledgers provide transparent and verifiable records of transactions, which enhancing trust. So right here, remember we have transparency and trust. And then we remove intermediaries. We remove the middlemen. Right? Middlemen are third parties that facilitate transactions between two parties. Right? There are a lot of middlemen. You can think about real estate also. And there are people that verify documents, people that stands there to work around between two parties that are transacting real estate, right? So right here, the impact is that we eliminate the need for intermediaries through peer-to-peer interactions, reducing cost and delays. So for banking, we reduce the banking fee. So if anyone's transfer or sent the money, or anyone that has your family member from other countries that sent money to you internationally, then it will cost a lot of fees and also delays, right? For banking, it's always 2 to 3 days or more, right? It takes a while to, let's say if you need the money right away because you have an emergency that you have to go to the hospital and you don't have the money, right? You need your family members from abroad to send you the money, and it is delayed for 2 to 3 days and you cannot do anything, right? And then the thing is, it removes intermediaries through peer-to-peer interaction, all thanks to smart contract. So everything is coded in the smart contract and it only follows the smart contract code. So no one can jump into or go around or go on the back or do anything with the rules. That is the rules, and the rules is already written on the blockchain and it cannot be removed, right? It can only be added, cannot be removed, and cannot be altered. All right, so the third thing is tokenization and digital assets, right? The third thing about Web3. So tokenization, the process of representing real world asset as digital tokens on a blockchain. And it enables fractional ownership, liquidity, and efficient trading of assets. And so this makes things easier if you want to split the money on buying anything, buying a piece of art, buying real estate, right? So right now people are tokenizing real estate to remove the process of documenting, of signing document papers, right? And also it makes fractional ownership easier. And then we have digital assets, and that is assets that exist digitally, represented and stored on a blockchain. Right? This include cryptocurrencies, digital art, real estate, and more. Okay, so right here, so we went through the core principles. Now we'll go to the key components of Web3. Right, so for Web3, we have cryptocurrencies, we have dApps, and we have smart contracts. Okay, cryptocurrency versus tokens. So cryptocurrencies are digital or virtual currencies secured by cryptography, operating on a decentralized blockchain, and cryptocurrencies are the native assets of a blockchain network. Let's say Ethereum and Ether, then that is a cryptocurrency, right? For token is different. Let's say any other coin is built on Ethereum, that it would be token. Right? Token are built on existing blockchain architecture using smart contracts, which are mostly EIP20 tokens. This is a standard of token on Ethereum. Right? EIP20 token, and Ethereum is also EIP20 token. Okay, a unit of value representing an asset or utility within a blockchain ecosystem. Token represent anything else beside native token. So cryptocurrencies are the native assets of a blockchain. For Bitcoin, it is Bitcoin or BTC, right? To differentiate it. Okay, and then we have the use cases, which is digital payments. We have remittances, which is international transaction, right, to your family member. It is a store of value like Bitcoin, or it is programmable money, like for token. Token is programmable money. And then the benefits of this is borderless transactions, fee reduction, right? This is what we've mentioned before, financial inclusion. For financial inclusion, then one example can be you cannot buy stock if you're not an American citizen. But then when you tokenize the US stock, then it is a token and it creates another market for the American stock market where everyone globally can join that market, right? So that is one example for financial inclusion. Okay, we have decentralized applications. So we have the token and then we have the apps, right? So apps or dApp that runs on a blockchain remove the need for intermediaries. So these are smart contracts. The apps are basically smart contracts that have all the rules that replace the intermediaries. So some example, we have Uniswap. It is a decentralized exchange. No one is running this exchange. It is purely code. You can come onto Uniswap, input 2 tokens or 2 coins that you want to change, you want to exchange. Let's say you want to change USDT into Ether, then you can do so, or you can do the opposite, Ether into USDT or USDC or other coins, right? So, and then we have CryptoKitties. This is some of the first NFTs collectibles. NFTs is also token, but then it has the data of the art and that token. Pretty much that is it. And then we have Brave browser, similar to Chrome, but then for Brave browser, they reward people with their own Brave token if people want to watch the ad, right? Otherwise, they will block the ad automatically. If you watch the ad, then you will be rewarded with the Brave token, and you can, and there is a certain value to that token as well. Okay, this is Uniswap. This is the logo, right? Uniswap, a decentralized app or dApp running on Ethereum and allowing users to trade without intermediaries. Some advantages of the apps, we have peer-to-peer direct interactions, we have transparency and resilience, reduce single points of failure. Okay, and then this is now smart contract, self-executing code that automatically executes terms of an agreement when predefined conditions are met. Basically, it's just the rules or the policy or anything that is written, but then it is there and it has to, you have to follow the rules right there. No one can change it, right? And there's no workaround to this rules. Okay, so this eliminates the need for intermediaries in contract enforcement. And some of the application in finance is automated lending or decentralized finance for supply chain. Then it tracks and verify the goods. A lot of coffee chains has implement blockchain network to track the progress of their coffee bean, right? Just to know of the process that go onto the beans and where it is originated from. Right? Also for real estate, that is secure property ownership and transfers. Right here, Ethereum introduced the concept of general purpose smart contract, enabling a wide range of application beyond currency. So smart contract is something that is really important for Ethereum and only for Ethereum itself. Okay, now we jump into the benefits of Web3 for Palau citizens. We have financial inclusion, right? This is for pretty much for globally for everyone. This is the access to global finance services, cross-border transactions, and then something which is really important as well as data ownership and privacy. We control over our personal data or health data, right? Or anything else that we want to keep private. That is what, and then we can secure and private transactions. Okay, so right here is the definitions and some of the impact of this. So for access to global financial service, this provides individual with access to a wide range of financial service, right? And irrespective of their location or income. Right, this is inclusion for everyone. So Web3 tech enables Palau citizens to access global financial services directly through decentralized platforms. For cross-border transactions that involve transferring funds or assets across international borders, this simplifies and accelerates cross-border transaction and potentially reducing fees and delays. Also about data ownership, then we have control over personal data, the ability of individuals to have ownership, control, and consent over the collection and usage of their personal data. And it empowers our Palau citizens to have greater control over our personal data and ensuring it's not exploited without our consent, right? And secure and private transactions conducted with strong encryption and privacy measures to protect the sensitive info that is involved. So it ensures that transactions are conducted securely and privately, reducing the risk of unauthorized access. Okay, so right now we're jumping into the fun part right here. We're just gonna go through different blockchains. I just listed out some more blockchains other than Bitcoin and Ethereum, and then we're going to jump right into setting up our first digital wallets. Right, what is wallet? And then you guys can go along, right? Everyone there, we can go along and set up our first MetaMask wallet. Okay, so right here beside Ethereum and Bitcoin, we have Binance Smart Chain, which we also mentioned before, and we have Polygon, Polygon and Solana. These are the two network that focus on cheaper, lower fee for users. But Solana use proof of history, which is a really different mechanism. And then for Polygon, they are a scalable solution to Ethereum. And so the problem with Ethereum is that so many users use Ethereum and that raise the network fee. And so let's say if anyone wants to buy something then the price of that thing is always going up and up, right? It is the same for the network fee. If you want your transaction to go through, then you need to pay higher fee, right? So Polygon or a lot more solution is created to solve this problem. So they have lower fee. Okay, so right here we have blockchain platforms support various decentralized application, right? They all have unique features and caters to different use cases such as smart contract, interoperability, and scalability. All right, so right now let's jump into digital wallets. So right here we have, it is a software application that allows users to securely store, manage, and transact cryptocurrencies and tokens. Right, the purpose is to enable users to interact with the blockchain networks, right, send and receive assets, and manage their digital identity. Right, so your public key is the address of your digital wallet, and it is also your digital identity. So you use that address for pretty much everything on the network, right? With that wallet alone, think about sign in with Google, right? Or sign in with your username or password. That is what we are using now. But then for Web3, then you will sign in with your wallet, right? It will use your wallet address to do this. And then, but the different thing is for sign in with Google or sign in with Facebook, all of your information is stored on their server. So they store all your information. But then for sign in with your wallet, then your activity or your transaction history is in your wallet, right? Or any other information you own it, other content or anything in your wallet, it is yours and no one is controlling it. And so basically you're signing, there's only the same, it is the same thing. It is only one button, but then it is really different for the range or the border of information and the ownership of the information. Okay, so right here we have two types of account, right, or wallet. We can call that. So externally owned account is your digital wallet that we are going to set up right now. It is controlled by anyone with the private keys. And then a contract account. So we mentioned smart contract. They also have their own account, right? Because they need to store Ether. They need to store cryptocurrency so that they can pay for the network fee or the transaction fee on their own. Yeah, so this is control. The smart contract is controlled by code and not by human. Okay, the similar is that they can all receive and hold and send Ethereum and tokens, and it can interact with deployed smart contract. So smart contract, you wrote it, but then you need to push it or deploy it up to the network to be able to use it, right? That is what deployed means. Okay, but then some of the difference is that for our wallet, then there is no cost to create a wallet. Then for smart contract, there is a cost because we are creating a contract or we're creating something on the network which takes the storage of that network and taking the storage for something that is gonna stay there forever, right? Anything on the blockchain staying there forever, you cannot remove it, you cannot change it, you can only add to the blockchain, right? Then it costs something. All right, for transaction initiation ability, which means you can start a transaction for your wallet, then definitely, because we need to send and receive, right? Send and receive money, and we want to send something to a friend, to our family, which is one click, you can send it to another wallet. For smart contract, then it cannot start on its own. But it is triggered by code. If the codes tell it to do so, if it reached the requirements of the code, then it will transfer tokens or it would do something else, like creating a new contract or doing something else, right? But then for EOA, externally owned account or our digital wallet, then it can only transfer Ethereum or token, right? Only value, but not message. It also transfer message, which means that how much the balance like in your wallet, these are not transferred to the other wallet, but then it is kept on the network, right? So there is still data and message, but then you can only transfer to another wallet, cryptocurrency or token. Okay, right here is how it works. Mechanism for our wallet, the digital wallet that we're gonna install. It is a pair of keys, so public and private keys that we talk about that control account activities. Then for smart contract, it is purely controlled by logic of the code. Right. All right, so right here, let's set up a digital wallet. Okay, so you guys can scan the QR code right here. It will put you, it will link you to the MetaMask website. This is the most used website. More than 30 million people use this wallet. Right here, it is secure wallet, making right accessible to all. Okay, so is anyone or is everyone following this? Any problem following this or getting into onto the website?
Give us a moment on this. Give us a moment as they are downloading and.
Do you want to download this and scan the QR code yet? Anyone have any problem? No? Okay.
Problem with
Okay.
Wi-Fi or
Okay.
Ethernet?
All of them scan. Please go ahead.
Perfect, amazing. Okay. All right, so
9 minutes. Yeah. Try to make it fast. Okay. Go
okay,
ahead.
so yeah, so we'll go through this pretty quickly, and then I'll show you some of the transaction that we can do on the test net. On the main net is what we are doing with real money, but beside the main net or the main network, we have the test network that you can send fake token, right? So we can test anything. We can push a dApp on there and test anything with fake money, really just a playground, right? But then it simulate the real mainnet. Okay, so if you already download the wallet, then this is right here. You see one or two of these. There will be a survey. If you want, you can click agree or no. But then for term of use, then go ahead and agree with it and accept it to use the wallet. After that, create a password. Right, this password right here will unlock your MetaMask. This is a password, and it is not used to recover the wallet or anything else. Right, we will jump into the secret recovery phrase, which is used to recover the wallet. Okay, so right here, if you are ready created your password, right, then there will be, okay, you got your wallet. Then what is a secret recovery phrase? Right here, is this a master key to your wallet and funds? Right, and then there are also a lot of best practices to secure and to save your secret recovery phrase. Right, you should not share this with anyone, even with MetaMask or anyone that is that says that they are MetaMask, because they're not. Right. Okay, you should write down your secret recovery phrase right here. You see 12 words, which is your phrase. Right here, I have an example of the secret recovery phrase. Like here, it's just some short, right? Just some short words right there. And when you already save it, then you just click continue. Then you get your wallet up really fast. This is okay, so this will not link to anything, or you will not get hacked, right? Because you go to the right website, right? So the best practice is check for the link of the website, HTTPS, right? PS. that it is more secure than only HTTP. And then just double check the link. Is it metamask.com? Is it the right link that you're intended to go to? Right. And then when you download it, then your browser will always ask for you if you're downloading the right file, right? You read the name of the file. Is it the right name? Right? Is it MetaMask wallet, or is it MetaMask.wallet, or is it MetaMask-wallet? Then it is not the right one, right? It should be something about MetaMask alone, not hyphen or not double A or not double K or something. Okay, right here. And then ta-da, you got it. You got your first wallet. They'll also ask for IP tracking. So I would not recommend the IP sharing or auto updating the wallet. So for auto updating the wallet, they will link your wallet to GitHub, and then it will automatically download from GitHub, which reveals your IP address, which is the IP address can reveals where you are on the globe, on the world. So it just limit, or it just close the range for other internet users to guess where you are at, and to approach you to with not good intentions. Basically, that's it. So I would not recommend I would not recommend anything automatically. Should be automatically to for your work to make it more efficient, but then not for updating stuff or like automatic with transactions, right? Everything should be manual for now.
Right.
All right, right here is your UI for your wallet. Like, anyone successful on installing or getting your first wallet? Good. You all get your wallet.
So everyone can create your first wallet. Everything good? So the key thing is like you need to keep your phrase keyword, the 12 keywords, right? And keep it secret and don't share it with anyone, because with that keywords, if you share and someone can have it, they can access to your wallet. So this the public key is the address of the wallet you can share, so people can transfer the money to you or you can receive it. But for the private key, the 12 keyword phrase, you need to keep it. So it means that normally all the crypto user need to write it down in many different places, in notebook, keep it in the safe key, like everything, make it safe. So that is a first important thing that you need to care about. Okay. Okay, Sue.
Okay. All right. So right on the right corner of your wallet, you will see, if you're on the laptop, then you see it says Ethereum mainnet, or you can look onto the slide right here. It says Ethereum mainnet, or on top of the phone in the middle, you see Ethereum main network. You can change it to Ethereum test network, and then you can go to a faucet and ask for fake Ethereum, so you can transfer it around. You can send it to your friend. You can do anything, and you will see the gas fee or the transaction fee that is all mentioned right there, how much you are sending and how much the receiver is going to receive, right? So you can test anything on the testnet. It's a good thing to start doing it and to start using the testnet before using the mainnet. All right. Okay, that is basically it for our workshop today. If there's any questions, I'm happy to answer it. So please, all the students, if you have any question, there is no stupid questions. So go ahead and ask, and just to check back what you learned today.
We have one question here.
Because there's so many wallets and different websites to use, how do I know which one is safe for me to use and what's not? For future.
Okay. So there will be a lot of wallet. I would say the best thing to navigate this space or the Web3 space is to do your own work or do your own research, right? But then you need to know the credible source, right? So a lot of people are using MetaMask right now, and they are there are 1, 2, 3 more wallets to use. It's not that they're not safe, but then they just fix or add another feature that is better than MetaMask. So MetaMask is there at the early stage, but their presentation or their interface is not as good. So others are creating wallet, but it's okay. You can use any, or you can try 1 or 2, but then try later on. For now, just use some of the most credible and popular one, right? And then do a lot of research when you're entering the space.
Okay, I think that we also don't have much time left. And that's all the question that we got today. But later, if any student have any question, can find me and I can help you to go through one more time, because I know that today also a lot of keyword, a lot of terms are a bit overwhelmed for you because it's all new, right? But don't worry, everyone also needs to go through this journey. And thank you, Sue, so much for your explanation for the students here. And a bit like background about Sue, our teammate. She also is a second year student. She's a girl and she studied by herself, and she went to the US and studied blockchain, and she's a builder, a developer, which is like many girls think that this boys can do it, but actually she's the expert. And then last year we did the hackathon for builders globally, and Sue joined one of our bootcamp sponsored by BitDown. She got invitation from BitDown, also like very big company globally, and she joined our hackathon. And she also become one of our team member, and she has done hundreds of workshops in Vietnam to help many students, many new builders also engaged in this. And she also worked for us and also for many other global protocols. So hopefully after this session and many other sessions for Palau students, one of you also become the super smart builders and even do your own projects. Thank you, Sue.